right, and welcome back to Heroes of the Storm. We have another Nexus Gaming Series matchup on our hands. On the left-hand side, we have Sponsored by Rory, and on the right, we have Jailbait. I am your caster, Bahamut, and let's get right into this. This is going to be a great matchup between this East Coast Division B, well, these East Coast Division B matchup teams. So, let's see. What are we going to be getting in this first ban? Going into Towers of Doom, a map where there's a lot of priority onto the global aspect of, you know, soak as one, and then as well as getting these sapper camps and pushing those in, lane pressure, as well as getting to those altars in time to make sure that you're able to, well, capture them and destroy the core, because you can't rush core. The best you can do at any sort of rush to core would be getting sappers in. So taking out the gray main here, a very strong idea on the side of Jailbait, getting rid of such a strong solo laner one if you do put him in that realm, but he also solos camps very well. He's amazing for team fights. He's got very good poke. He can be a tank shredder. He can be a backline shredder. So overall, a very versatile hero, and I really like that ban coming out from Jailbait. But it's actually looking like Hanzo is going to be banned out from Sponsored by Rory. So that's it's an interesting response. The scatter arrow is a really good tool for disruption and just kind of overall poke. But it looks like they're going to go ahead and pick up the Lucio on the side of Jailbait right away. Very strong hero. Also really good at, you know, speeding up the rotations and also maybe, you know, getting on some of those kills that you want to chase down a little bit. But it looks like on the side of Sponsored by Rory, they're going to be picking up ETC and Jaina. It's interesting to be picking up a mage so early here. I understand that she does have decent poke with the Ice Lance build. Seems like there's a very... It's a bit early of a priority in my opinion, especially for a Jaina. I don't think she would have been banned out in any means. Definitely locking up something like a Stukov in this situation, or a Rhaegar would have been huge for you, because of the fact that now when you go into the next ban phase, Jailbait's obviously going to be looking to ban out a healer because that's going to be their next focus. So, you know, there goes your Brightwing, there goes your Rhaegar, there goes your Stukov, whichever one they feel most threatened against. Probably going to be, in my opinion, the Brightwing. But either way, Li Ming being picked up here on the side of Jailbait with a Dahaka, and I really like this. Dahaka providing a very, very global threat, a very, very good global threat, as well as a very just terrifying flank. That the flank that you can get from the brushstroke is kind of terrifying. Like, hearing that noise pop up behind you is not really something that people want to enjoy. Sorry guys, I'm just getting my my live tweet out. I did forget to do that. All right, let's get that out there. So, looking at this draft currently, they're covering the Genji. I understand his threat, but I don't think I see him as the main threat here. I definitely think getting rid of something like a Tyrael, or I don't know. I don't think the Genji ban is worthwhile for this one, but they're going to be able to take that out. I mean, he's still a great hero. It's just I don't think that their draft lends into a double, like, I don't think they're going double reset. It's really kind of risky in my opinion to do that, especially with some of the tools that they have. I don't think that team would have worked out for it. So it is smart though to kind of like block that avenue if they are going down it. I will say that, of course, to the team's credit. I mean, it's a smart move overall. If you do see that double reset coming and it's not something you want to deal with, get rid of it. But this is the Stukov that we're going to see being banned out, and I put a priority on Stukov here mostly because the zone that he offers with the Lurking Arm comboed into the ETC is pretty powerful. Brightwing, I did mention her, and I did, you know, kind of say that, ooh, that's kind of good, but at the same time, you have to consider the factor that Brightwing and ETC might kind of anti-synergize, so that's not really something that we would really want to see from them. So the Stukov, I really like that ban. It's a smart ban to get rid of that from the enemy team. Definitely at this point, since you have last pick, I would personally say the best thing to do here would be to pick up your healer and then maybe your melee damage. I feel like that's, or you go into like an off tank. Actually, you know what? Picking up the Sonya this early would be kind of... they're not going to pick it up on the side of Jailbait. I'm trying to, like, do the math here. I'm like, you can leave Sonya for maybe that solo lane and then pick up your healer. Nope. Okay, so they're going to pick up Sonya and Malfurion, and then they're going to flex on that last slot. Not a bad idea at all. So they definitely do. They get their solo lane set up nice and well. I mean, this is the reason I was like, oh, maybe they take it a little bit early, and then I was like, no, they can just leave it for the end. My reasoning for that mostly is the fact that they have Dahaka. They're not going to run Dahaka Sonya. I personally don't think that would work out for them very well at all. So we're going to be seeing that being picked up by Sponsored by Rory either way. Now, these last 2 picks on the side of Jailbait, they're going to be looking for their main tank. I'm trying to think of what would set up Li Ming a little bit, what would also benefit some of these members. And a Nubarak wouldn't be horrible. Arthas actually, I kind of like Arthas here. And then you could maybe pick up Vala if you wanted a little bit more range damage still, but I kind of like this odd idea of having a Thrall too. Like Thrall Arthas. I don't know why the Thrall Earthquake feels like it would synergize as well as with Arthas. We're going to actually get the Garrosh and a Junkrat. It's amazing. You can't see it because of my chair, but there's one of the players, Junkrat. He literally, as he locked it in, I'm assuming just went, "It's me," which is a little too perfect. But let's keep going into this. We're gonna be having this last pick on the side of Sponsored by Rory. I'm trying to think. What will we be locking in? I'm guessing it's mostly as a response to the Dahaka, but the only thing that I worry about here in this situation is that Gust can slightly anti-synergize with the Mosh if they do go into that factor. It is Towers of Doom. They could, I mean, like, I personally, like, I think Mosh. That would be my choice if I was playing in this matchup, but Stage Dive is available. We did see it last night, and I think it was actually from this team too. I think actually Kooks got massively shoved by Stukov, and I was sitting there laughing because he just stage dove back onto the court. It was like, I'm back, baby. But overall, it's a pretty fair matchup. I really like this. I think that it has there's good and bad on both teams. I think some things might kind of bite them in the butt. That Li Ming, I like it, but I'm a little bit worried that they might be able to body her. But we'll see. I mean, I could be completely wrong. We will see as we get into this matchup. On the left-hand side, we are going to have Sponsored by Rory with Kooks on that ATC J show, I'm assuming. On the, looks like Jaina. Smitha will be playing the Malfurion. Koldam on that Falstead, and DB Smiley on the Sonya. On the right-hand side, we have Jailbait with Smug Dolphin on the Dahaka. Junkrat playing the Junkrat. Klaxi on the Li Ming. And H2O on the Garrosh. And finally, we have Fragastellar on the Lucio. Fragastellar. Right? It's an A? A's and O's look way too similar to me. I'm pretty sure it's an A. Fragastellar. Either way, we have most of the team actually in this mid lane. On the side of Jailbait, a lot of the rest of the members of Sponsored by Rory just already in the bottom, so they're going to see this rotation from the majority of the team. It is a little bit aggressive. They could potentially get a pick onto some of these members, but at this time there's Kooks who does come in, getting blasted by, getting tossed back, but he will be able to just walk through the Jaina Blizzard there, which will kind of give him a little bit of safety because no one really wants to walk into that damage right there. We do actually have Falstad going into the Seasoned Marksman stack, so right away he is going to be making sure that he's going to start getting those stacks because that later game, that's really when he benefits from them, and obviously getting there is takes a little bit of time. So something to note there. We do have Jaina going into that Ice Lance build as we did talk about in draft. Dahaka going into his the Brush Chakra talent at 1, trying to remember the name, Enhanced Agility. It's named after what it does basically. We actually have Garrosh going into the Warbreaker there at level 1. That's very interesting to go for that stacking talent. They did nerf the damage of the toss upgrade. Unrivaled Strength, I do believe. We currently have H2O getting the toss here, going to be able to throw Malfurion into the backline. Smithville taking a little bit of damage, able to get that self-heal, but at the same time, H2O has put himself a little too far out. Kook's going to get that power slide through, trying to get this body block. They are trying just to get a little bit of damage. They just needed like 70 more, but unfortunately it was not enough. Let's peek into some of the other lanes here. We do have Smug Dolphin going up against DB Smiley. It looks like the solo lane is the mid lane, and we're going to be going ahead and just having this kind of evenly matched up. Smug Dolphin just kind of staying back, waiting for the mini wave to get to him. Junkrat's going to be going up against Coldam. What's great about casting Junkrat here is that I don't have to actually think of a different name and then say Junkrat. It's just Junkrat. Is it? Either way, DB Smiley going to go ahead and dive in onto Fragistellar here. There will be the power slide in from ETC, but the boop is perfectly timed to make sure that there isn't that follow-up from Kooks, and they're able to save their healer. And that's just about perfect because we have in about 30 seconds, we have the altars that will be spawning now. Without sevens, we can kind of see that DB Smiley has a decent engage, but not a whole lot of damage. That Poison Spear is going to be huge for them, but potentially might not be enough. Able to spin out of there. I was going to say with the tongue, and I thought there might have been, I wasn't sure if he used toss already, but he probably used it as the initial engage. Either way, I mean, DB Smiley getting a little bit low there. They're going to go ahead and just rotate him up onto that altar, but that means that the bottom is going to be a 3v3 currently. They're going to trade the top, it looks like. I wouldn't be too surprised to see Dahaka burrow, and that's actually going to be happening right behind Smithville. He needs to be careful here. There will be a tongue that probably will go. Ooh, actually, the roots are going to be perfectly timed. There is the tongue onto Kooks. They're taking quite a bit of damage. Falstead not flying down just yet. Gonna be staying back just to make sure that he soaks up those lanes there. Ooh, actually gonna be flying in at this time. They do want to fight over this, but the altar was picked up by Fragistellar, I do believe there, so they get 8 shots onto the core of Sponsored by Rory, but at the same time, Jailbait, they're gonna be taking 4 themselves. At this point, we're going to see most of the teams just, both teams pretty much just rotating back into their soak lanes. We're going to have, I think, 2 minutes before the next altar phase again. So at this point, it's really just that soak till 7-10 area. Maybe we'll see a fight. Definitely there is going to be starting to see this priority on these camps, as well as bottom should get the priority that I honestly think it does deserve. It's one of those things that, you can feed 6 shots onto the core of the enemy team by just holding over bottom. Plus, it's a very hard way to rotate. It's a hard position to rotate into if you don't have that tower. And with the next altar being in this bottom position, getting this over is pretty important for the teams. But Jaina making quick work of that team, as well as ETC knocking it back, making sure that they don't get anywhere near the towers, just weakening them at all. It was a very good defense on the side of Sponsored by Rory, making sure that they're not going to be taking unnecessary damage onto their forts, as well as, potentially onto their core. So now we see with level 7 here, DB Smiley has a little bit more of a threat with his kit, with that Poison Spear that was picked up at level 7 there. Now, with the altar also starting in this bottom position, he's going to have to rotate because of the fact that he does not have the global threat like Dahaka has. So he'll be staying up into that top, making sure that he pressures that up a little bit more. We'll probably rotate down into one of these bushes or maybe a flank again onto Smithville. That was pretty good. This time, the majority of the team does not look like they're in position for this on the side of Jailbait, and I'm not sure if they're going to give this over. Smithville is currently channeling. I don't think that they have a block in time. Jaina sacrificed herself, got pulled in by the tongue there, and actually will be able to get out. Dahaka going to actually be burrowing there. Smug Dolphin actually able to get out. Falstead taking quite a bit of damage. Lucio going to be able to just speed boost for that kill, and that will be killed by the Junkrat. Will be the toss by H2O there onto DB Smiley, taking quite a bit of damage, but not going to be enough. The roots are going to slow them down a little bit here. Junkrat going to get a mine out, and it will actually separate a couple of the members away. J-Show now the target of this chase. H2O going to get the stun on to Kooks, and they will get that kill. And at this point, I honestly think that they just group up. They take these two. They take this siege camp and feed it right in with that kill onto the ETC. They definitely can be a little aggressive. Lucio does have this, that group healing, which would be perfect. He also did pick up that level 7 talent, so the whole team grouping together would just bump him up a little bit quicker. Little minute things that I was just like, oh man, they could just take this like really quick play. You can, when you knock out the enemy team's tank and you already see that, some of their teams already rotated off, at that point, you play a little bit more aggressive. You have the advantage. Sonya actually going to go ahead and start over on this camp. The big question, are we going to see Jailbait sniff it out? It does not look like it is going to be happening. The team will just rotate back into the lane, and they're going to go ahead, just get this experience, get close to 10. With altars starting up in about 25 seconds here, it looks like 10s will be achieved for pretty much both team. And I honestly expect this to pretty much just be just a trade over. I really don't expect them to be fighting over this unless they, get a crazy great pick right before these altars pop up. And it looks like they will dedicate a couple members down to that bottom lane. 10s are achieved for both teams at this time. We do have Warlord's Challenge from Garrosh, which is going to be pretty powerful for that team. Break it down from Lucio, Riptire from the Junkrat. We do actually have isolation from the Dahaka, but we have on the other hand side. We're still waiting on Li Ming. She's holding right now. But Jaina will be going ahead and getting Ren of Frost. We have ETC actually going for that stage dive, offering up another global threat. Sonya going to the Wrath of Berserker. Falstad going to be taking that Gust, and Twilight Dream from the Malfurion. So we're not going to be seeing the changed version of Tranquility. Actually toss once again onto the Falstad. They're just trying to lock him down, and they absolutely do it. And we also have Li Ming going to go ahead and take Wave of Force, just another control factor in these fights. And it looks like with these 10s, they've got like a gank crew, and they can basically just roll around and just pull these members around and absolutely body them. Now, I did say that, and they tried to get the CTC, but granted, a lot of the main one, which is Warlord's Challenge, that one was down at the time. And he also was quite close to his gates, and it doesn't look like they're going to be chasing too much. But either way, still great play from both teams. We actually do have quite a big rotation onto Kooks here. Going to get that power slide out. There will be the toss onto oh my god. Absolutely just bodying. Oh my god. Garrosh also going to be finishing that level 1 talent. That was really interesting, though. I don't think I've ever seen it done that way, where they actually toss onto what used to be the pole. So you actually get like you get a double stun off of that. That's really interesting. Huh. I've never seen that before. That's actually quite amazing. We're going to have these teams rotating off, though. They're going to be going ahead and picking up this camp at the time. Meanwhile, though, in bottom, we do have this altar starting up, and a lot of the members of... Oh, actually, no. Everyone's kind of where they really need to be. I was like, oh, this is really in favor of... sponsored by Rory, but at the same time, they have Dahaka. Dahaka can just flank them at any point, and we should be seeing a burrow quite soon from him, I would guess. Currently have that camp just starting to push down bottom lane. He might not actually have burrow. But we do have J-Show. He will go ahead and capture this. There is the Warlord Challenge onto a couple of the members. They will get the stun onto the ETC. Meanwhile, though, in bottom, we do have Smug Dolphin, who is trying to channel this, but Coldam is going to be coming down here trying to disrupt it. So 4 shots did go over to the core of Jailbait, so this is currently in favor of sponsored by Rory. ETC going to go ahead and get a huge stage dive, but Break It Down used just in time pretty much mitigates all of the damage. They go ahead and get a Ring of Frost onto 3 of the members. Dahaka going to go ahead and burrow, but Sonya going to be falling to the Riptire from the Junkrat. There is going to be the stun out from H2O, but there is the toss onto ETC, and I think he actually gets Goomba'd by the Lucio, realistically. Oh my god, that friendly toss. H2O, I gotta say, some of these Garrosh plays are just... the only thing is, I did not know... Okay. Yeah, it deals a little bit of damage. I didn't know that. That's actually quite amazing. So they're going to go ahead and rotate down onto this fort right now. Push this in. I wouldn't be too surprised to see a priority onto this camp right afterwards. That way they can feed in 3 shots into their core. That's what I would like to see. I mean, it's a little aggressive, but at the same time, they can see that a couple members are across the map. So they go ahead... So they do start this camp at this time. ETC trying to, and J-Show going to go ahead and try and just burn this down a little bit so they at least can start to work on this altar. But unfortunately, the mini-wave's going to just kind of pass it, so they don't really have anything to defend under. Currently, the camp will be picked up. DB Smiley rotating down. They might actually get a couple of picks off of this. Calaxy is a little bit low. Going to have, actually, Dahaka get it burrowing in, thinking he was coming in to help the team. We are going to have Stellar. That was, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect the Dahaka burrow. I was so surprised when he popped up. I was like, oh no, Dahaka. At this time, though, they go ahead and they pretty much mitigate the damage that would have gone onto the core, as well as getting rid of this tower. But with the fact that they can see so many people down into that bottom area, they go ahead and just move right into boss. So they, instead of getting 3 shots onto the core, they just delay them out and they get 4 either way. Now, they can spread across this pretty well and get another 4 shots, or excuse me, 8 shots. And I'm curious to see if there's going to be a response on the side of Sponsored by Rory, or if they're going to be just playing the safe. And it looks like it's just going to be that. They'll get this camp. They'll stay down here. Dahaka's probably going to be coming over here to pick up this one. The rest of the team will kind of posture up for potential Gus being burned there for the delay. But at this time, do they have enough? Ooh, DB Smiley actually getting pulled there. Also just separated from the group, and they're actually going to be able to... Ooh, the Ring of Frost does go out, but the Break It Down is used, and actually the Ring of Frost not capturing anyone. DB Smiley trying to capture this, but it will not be enough. They actually get the Jaina here. Once again, he does... Ooh, actually a huge taunt out from H2O there. A big kill onto the Sonya in this fight. Kook's going to be falling, and it's another reset for Li Ming, and she is just popping off in this fight. She's out of mana right now, but they get that pick onto Malfurion, and that is going to be another member down. So they go ahead and, with, you know, they delayed it out for a little bit there, but unfortunately they won that over with those resets from that Li Ming, and that was pretty huge. And I can definitely say that, you know, now looking back on it, I'm like, if they had a Genji, I would have been terrified. But I honestly think that the Junkrat was, I think it was honestly what they had intended. At least from the excitement we saw in chat from the Junkrat. At this point, though, we do have a stage dive in onto a couple of members. The grenade is used, or excuse me, the landmine is used right away, and they actually separate him, and just pretty much it's burned. So now that we have the center area spawned, that means that our towers are going to become a little bit stronger. They're going to have keep damage and keep health, and as well as keep experience. Coldam going to get that barrel roll out, as well as a huge gust onto the team, and I don't know if they baited it out, but either way, I do like that disengage that they did take with that. Junkrat going to go ahead and try and... Ooh. Nice wrap around the wall, but they go ahead and get the mine separation. Though Lucio did use Break It Down there, and so the rest of the team of Sponsored by Rory does separate away. We actually have Coldam going to go ahead and Hearth and get full. I'm assuming... Well, he can also take the center portal. He's going to fly in. I'm confused. He had like full health, full mana. I don't know why he flew in like that. I'm so confused right now. Okay, either way, they're trying to push into this mid so that way they can get 5 shots onto the core of Sponsored by Rory, and they're honestly doing a really good job with their Junkrat to just kind of displace the member so they can't block any of this damage, as well as getting that Li Ming to kind of poke in as well. They do have Kooks currently coming in. There is the tongue out from Smug Dolphin. It's not enough, and actually they try and gust a couple of these members, I think, into the fight, but it's not going to be happening. And with that, they're actually going to be potentially getting 5 shots over. This altar is available. Smug Dolphin's going to be going ahead and picking that up right away. So that will be 5 shots onto the core of Sponsored by Rory, and they will be nearing that kind of that worrisome area of this game. They still have at least 2 altar phases to go through. I don't think boss is going to be up for another 2 minutes? Minute 30. But it looks like at this time they're just going to be holding over mid, making sure that they're having a rough time kind of just getting this back in their favor. Falstaff going to go ahead and fly in. Smithville getting a little bit low there. They use the Rake It Down on the side of Lucio. There is Malfurion falling here. I believe Li Ming did get that reset that she so much needed. And they go ahead and push these members right into their own gate at this time. And this is a hard spot to be in because of the way that they're pressuring. They really want this fort back, but they've pressured up so much that they've allowed some of the mini waves to stack up a little bit, so they need to back off at this time themselves. They get the conversion once again. Now Dahaka is going to show on top. Do they take a risk here without their healer and take this fight? They do see that the members are there. Li Ming trying to... Ooh, there was that potential for the pull there really quickly, but they're going to rotate down at this time, and I wouldn't be too surprised to see them feed these in. And actually, we're going to have Junkrat and Klaxi going ahead and picking up this camp. We're going to feed a couple more shots, and this is also bottom altar too. This is Bottom altar, bottom 4, and we have currently Kooks taking half of his health down, but we have a huge gust in from Coldam. They're going to be getting the toss out. H2O going to be taking quite a bit of damage, but a huge root onto so many of the members, actually the Warlord's Challenge, and then we also had the Twilight Dream that came out as well, so they get the kill onto the Garrosh, and I honestly think that they're going to have to back off. They might not be able to take this fight without him here. It's a 4v5 currently. They're going to try and poke it this time, but there is such a long time. Oh, are they going to sneak the boss while they do this? I think that's going to be it. Or are they going to... Okay. Because they all rotated top. I was like, oh, they're just going to give up bottom and just go straight for boss and then try and just burn it down beforehand. But it doesn't look like that's going to be it. Members of... Ooh, sponsored by Rory. That Coldam taking quite a bit of damage from that Riptire there. They're going to go ahead and work down this bottom keep, but in the top lane, it looks like they're kind of feeding in some of these minions as well, trying to push this up. So they get the conversion in this bottom tower down here, and it looks like a few of the members will stay and try and burn this down. Falstad going to go ahead and fly in. They will start to back off a little bit here. ETC going to use his stage dive in, and at this time, ooh, Wave of Force comes out from Li Ming a little bit too early, not knocking anyone back. But at this time, they get a flight out of Falstad, and they get a stage dive out of ETC, and that's pretty big at this time. They're currently postured up, and they do have vision of the boss, which I really like that utilization of the landmine there. DB Smiley going to go ahead and actually start the boss, so they do have vision of this with that landmine. Or is the question they're just trying to pull them back up here so that they can't clear their own fort? This is such a tense boss moment. We also have to note here that 20s were picked up. So this is a huge fight in favor of Jailbait. Let's see if they can make anything on the side of sponsored by Rory. They actually get the toss onto DB Smiley. He is a little bit out of position. We do get that kill. There's the root onto one of the members, but unfortunately no follow-up damage to be found. Now at this time, with the fort or the keep being held over by sponsored by Rory in that bottom right, this means that they can't end just yet on the side of Jailbait, because they're only going to be getting 6 shots over to the core. They need to convert that back over or get top. It looks like they're going to be going ahead and trying that exactly. They're going to try and get this back over in their favor. Toss from H2O on to Kooks here. Will be getting out with that power slide. Junkrat going to be getting a bunch of damage out. Almost getting another pull, but Li Ming will be trying to get another combo out as well. They get the one bell tower at this time. They try and get bottom, but at this time, Smug Dolphin, I think, delayed them out for quite a bit. Falstad in a bad position. Coldam going to get taunted. They're going to be chasing him. Going to get the toss here as well. We'll be getting that kill, but ETC going to go ahead and stage dive in. There is the break it down from Lucio. Smug Dolphin going to have to back off here. I think use some essence a little bit. Now, here's the thing. If they delay this out and they convert this over, I mean, if they convert over one bell tower, they definitely can take this. And it looks like that's exactly what they want to do. They're going to stay. Ooh, this is kind of risky here. You're giving repositioning over in favor of sponsored by Rory. Now, granted, you are going to be using this Riptire to do quite a bit of damage, but it won't be... Oh, my God. It ended. Like, I didn't expect the ice block to end. It caught me so off guard, but Jaina will get away with like 40 health right now, and that actually turns this fight right back around in favor of Jailbait. And a few of these members are getting a little bit low on the side of Jailbait, but it looks like ETC will be first to fall. That's a reset for Li Ming. Going to go ahead and get a bunch of damage out onto DB Smiley, who does have quite a bit of healing from the spin there, but it looks like that is going to be another reset. The burrow is there from Smug Dolphin, and Jaina will try and delay this out, but they will get the capture over, and that is going to be game number 1 going over to Jailbait. GG. Well played. There we go. All right, let's get back into this. Take 2. Yeah, take 2. All right, so here we go. First pick, first ban, set to the correct team. Bad caster's bad. But we are going to be getting... So first ban is going to be right onto Hanzo, actually. They really don't want to see this. All right, so Hanzo's going to be the hover of the ban here on Battlefield of Eternity. I have seen him being played here quite a bit, so I'm honestly not surprised. I think he has a pretty good Immortal shred, if you will. Getting that bounce is something that is, you got to practice and also make sure that you're getting right. But either way, it's still not a bad ban at all, in my opinion. Let's see here, though. On the right-hand side, what are we going to be getting? Sylvanas ban. Right away, they do not want to deal with that. She is really good right now. These guys it's always just so good. First pick, though, on the side of sponsored by Rory, we're going to be getting... Do they prioritize the ETC once again, or are we going to be seeing something a little bit different? I'm trying to think, like, do they prioritize the Immortal Burn, so you get like a Greymane, Vala, Lunara, any of those three that typically... Greymane, really? Okay. So they will prioritize the Greymane first. Greymane has just a phenomenal Mortal Burn if you are going to be going with, if you want to take that right in the early slot. Now, on the side of Jailbait, I wouldn't be too surprised to see them get one of those in the priorities as well as either a healer or a tank. I personally say get Vala ETC in this situation. I think it's a great combination. I think they work well together. It's great on this map. But we'll see. I mean, they could also... I've seen it, but I personally like... A lot of people go for the Artanis, but I don't know. I just feel like there's better picks, and like, yes, you get a blind amateur opponent and all that, but okay, so we're gonna go for that Lucio once again, and just like the hardest thing to look at, like that color scheme, is just, it hurts your eyes. It really does. Next, pick up Sonya with that too. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and pick up Sonya for the solo lane. Lucio for, obviously, team healing. So that's honestly a pretty good lock right there. Realistically, all they need is just their Immortal Burn. Ooh. I'm trying to, like, already put together their team. I'm like, if you take, like, ETC, you take Vala, and then you maybe take a Gul'dan with that, that'd be pretty big. Or Jaina. You can take Ring of Frost. There goes the ETC, though. I like the Li Ming here. She has really good poke value to poke into the Immortal. That's pretty powerful. The resets that you can get around these fights is a big factor to consider as well. So overall, I really like the Li Ming in this situation. I honestly really like the draft of Sponsored by Rory so far. Greymane has really good shred. He's got great team fight. Good for the resets onto some of these members. ETZ providing some of that engage, that dive. Greymane has the follow-up to that, while Li Ming is just sitting in that backline throwing in magic missiles, orbs. So that's still a really, really good composition that they're grabbing here. But once again, we're going to be seeing them being locked out of a healer, at least the Stukov, which once again, on a map like this, he's still very, very strong. Sponsored by Rory, they're going to be looking to ban out the Jaina in this situation. I honestly think that if you're going to be banning out a mage, I would honestly go for the Gul'dan. Mostly because Horrify would be really annoying to deal with. There's a lot of good corridors that you can Horrify into, split a team. You get two that come towards your team. The rest of the three, walk away because just that's how the corridor is, forcing people. And then literally that's two members dead, chase into the other three or something. So, I don't know. Jaina's, like, I'm not saying she's bad by any means. It's just one of those things that, like, I look at her and I'm like, yes. But what about that Horrify, though? No, they're going to actually switch to Junkrat. They do not want to deal with that, like, in the last match. And that was pretty annoying to deal with. There are a lot of good benefits of Junkrat, especially going into the Classic. I feel like they're about to reveal a trap card. Like, that's the thing. Like, picking up Sonya so early. Cho'Gall? Picking on the weakest player. Dang! Just these guys are ruthless to each other. Those are teammates. But either way, let's talk about this draft a little bit more. Going into this second to last phase here for the picks on the side of Jailbait. Trying to think, like, what would they be picking up just to kind of counteract what's currently happening. Okay, I was thinking more along the lines of a Nubrak, most for the Nubarian armor at level 1 into the Li Ming. Also, any sort of dive, you have some good stun disengage, as well as he has a good disengage, as well as an engage if you do go down that route of fighting into them. So, Muradin, not bad. He still has, you know, jump in, jump out. What best color scheme? Distract your enemies in style. You know, it's a good point. I think you just, you know, berate their eyes with so many crazy great colors that they can't really focus on the game at hand, probably. All right. These last two picks, though, on the side of sponsored by Rory, they're going to need their solo laner. They're going to need to pick up someone to go into that Sonya. They could go Malthael. I don't like it, but it kind of would be good. They're going to take Leoric. Okay. Leoric and Brightwing. Okay. That's a Samuro. No, go back to the other skin. It's better. It's the Monkey King one. Either way, that's an interesting pickup here. The nice thing is it will provide a little bit of a hard time for Li Ming. So this means that they're gonna put the Samuro up against the Leoric then? I actually did they play some mind games with them? It kind of seems that way. It honestly seems like Jailbait kind of juked them. Stupid like a fox. Let's go Bale Jate. I like that. I like that. That's good. That's good. All right, but this is going to be the last match between these two teams. We're gonna have but stay tuned, obviously. But Jaded, we're still gonna be having an interview after this, and then at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, we are gonna be going into our Division C matchup between Clouded Minds and FML Esports, if I'm not mistaken. All right, let's get into this matchup here. On the left-hand side, we have sponsored by Rory with Aura on the Li Ming, Coldam on the Greymane. Kook's going to be playing that ETC, DB Smiley on that Leoric, and Smithsel's going to be rounding it out on the Brightwing. And thank God it's not the creepy Brightwing. I never show trash. I don't like to show trash on my stream. On the right-hand side, we have Jailbait. Up one game, we are going to be having Smug Dolphin on the Sonya. Fragstellar will be on the Lucio once again. H2O on that Muradin. Klaxi on the Vala. And Junkrat going to be playing the Samuro. Samuro? However you want to say it. Samuro. Well, there you go. You can see the trash talking. You can see the trash talking on stream right now. But let's, we're going to just kind of peek through these talents right now. I mean, at this point, we're going to have actually Sonya going up against that Leoric. So they do actually put Samuro into the bottom lane with the rest of the team. I was curious to see if he was going to be in the solo lane, but it looks like Kook's in a little bit of a bad spot. Taking a wee bit of damage there, but overall, not going to be losing out too much there. And hello to everybody in Twitch chat. How you guys doing? We do actually have DB Smiley going up against the Smug Dolphin, as we had noted before, and then just getting pushed in a little bit here by the Sonya. So this could be... We're going to have to try and keep an eye on Leoric's health there, maybe get a peek up if there is a little bit of a dive from the Sonya onto him. But overall, we're gonna stay in bottom. This is where the fun in the action is. Currently have these teams taking quite a bit. It's a fair back and forth. We do currently have H2O. He's going to be diving out. Going to get that stun onto Aura there. Doesn't look like he's going to be getting much follow-up to that. Just peeking into top once again, Leoric and Sonya just playing safe still. Bottom is going to be fairly matched up overall. We can start to talk a little bit about some of these talents while we have about a minute before the Immortals even kind of start the proc for it. We're actually going to be not going to be taking that third win, which, at least in my opinion, I always take it because I love it. I absolutely love having that, just that extra health. But either way, he's going to be going for that Stormbolt. Not a bad idea at all, making sure that you're getting a bunch of damage out. They also have the Sonya, who's with the team too, so you also have that, excuse me, she's not with the team, but in the later half of the game, she's going to be in a lot of those team fights. So definitely having that person to body a lot of that damage is going to be big for the team there. We're also going to be having Samurai going into that Mirror Image talent at level 1 and stacking quite quickly here at 15 stacks. I believe you have to land crits from your mirror images onto a hero, so 15 stacks is quite a bit. We actually have H2O taking quite a bit of damage here. Going to be able to use the Dwarven Toss to get out. A few of his members will kind of stay back here, just going to push up. And these several clones are pretty impactful, honestly, to the team, just being able to kind of chase away some of the members. But at this time, we do have the Immortal popping up, and just kind of skimming through some of the other talents. We have Sonya going to block, which is typically, we honestly usually see Warpaint for the little bit more self-sustained, but going to be taking that block at level 1. Lucio, I really can't talk about support talents, but they honestly, I would say that they... I can't disagree with that, honestly. And then the cross base is going to be a pretty useful one, ETC, if ETC goes in for the Mosh. Otherwise, Brightwing going to standard build with the Peekaboo and everything. It's going to be definitely helping out against the Samurai, making sure that they find the real one. As they can see right now, the exact real one, too. Quite a bit of damage going on to Smithville here. Won't be able to get out. Getting that phase shift in was useful, showing, you know, where the team was, but unfortunately not enough. And actually, these team members... Okay, I was going to say Smug Dolphin... Oh, because Coldam got just like a shot, but he's currently in a bad position. Vala going to go ahead and vault forward. Going to be trying to get another little extra damage on to Coldam. They're not going to be working out, but they're going to go ahead and just poke this down, or are going to be just throwing in some of those orbs and magic missiles just to kind of get some of these members a little bit low, make them back off. Liork going to a Skeletal Swing build. Greymane going into Cocktail build. Li Ming looks like it's going to be Orb build. ETC going into what looks pretty standard to me. Overall, nothing too out of the ordinary, just, you know, that block and the Stormbolt talent at 1, but either way, still doesn't matter. We still have a great match on our hands. Just got to note some of these the early game, it's, you know, it's nice to talk about some of the talents. The pacing's a little bit more slow. It's a little more predictable of a game. And actually, the other thing to note here is, and this is what I was talking about with the Greymane, is he still chunks. I mean, he is doing quite a bit of damage to this Immortal. Now, H2O trying to delay this out a little bit, going to get polymorphed. But overall, this will be picked up in favor of the members of Jailbait. And they also pick up that kill onto ETC there. And DB Smiley could be the next one to fall. He actually gets booted back by the Lucio, and that is going to be the kill onto Liork. And I honestly got to say, that's huge for Jailbait. One, because both tanks are down. It's early game. ETC is 4 seconds away. Liork literally spawns on the battlefield. But it's just one of those things that you now have this Immortal. He's going to be, you know, tanklessly uncontested for a little bit here, which makes some of the members, they're going to have to play a little bit further back. We can already see Li Ming went Beth, I believe, just to go ahead and pick up some extra mana there. At this time, I mean, this is just going to be Sonya going up back into the Liork and 10. Into the top lane. They're going to have 7s, though, so they do have a little bit of an advantage. Kook's going to go ahead and slide through, but the power, it's going to get knocked back by the Lucio right away. And that's going to be just stacking into his talents nicely. And just looking at some of those stacking talents as we're getting into this, you know, 7 phase of the game here. You know, Lucio going to go in the mix. Right? In the mix? Party mix. Getting closer every time. Stormbolt. The natural Stormbolt is going to be huge fight in bottom. Do they get the reset they need for Aura? It's not going to be enough. We actually get a little bit of damage coming out from H2O. And with that, they actually get some of these members right back up to almost full. And they can pretty much go right back into this team fight. Smith are going to go ahead and Hearth at this time. But I'm assuming he will have a phase shift in, and I can already hear it happening. DB Smiley going to have to Hearth there. Quite a bit of damage going out from the Sonya, and they actually get that leap onto the Lucio there, and that's huge. They actually going to have to back off at this time on the side of Jailbait. Oof. Are going to go ahead and try and just get a little bit of snipe damage onto this well, making sure that they don't have that retreat path anymore. H2O is not going to have it anymore. He's just going to put himself in the way and say, you know what, you can't snipe our well. That's not fair. But once again, Aura, she's going to go ahead and sneak away and get a little bit of damage onto it. H2O is still not having it. This is honestly pretty funny. But Samuro going to be popping onto the, or excuse me, one of the clones popping onto the point. I was just like, wait, what are you doing? We do, though, at this time have the Lucio back from death, so they are up and ready for this fight. Now, there is a camp that they are going to have to de-push, but the other thing to note here is in top, Sonya's done a pretty good job of pushing back Liork for quite a bit of this fight. So overall, the top lane pressure has been in favor of Jailbait here, but they do get that well from Li Ming over time. Kook's just taking a little bit of damage here, able to get out without a problem. Gonna get some passive healing from Smithel, and they will be able to just position up for the Immortal phase here. Now, in top, Smug Dolphin did go on to the Immortal for a few seconds, but with Leoric's level 7 talent just draining that health. Absolutely draining from Sonya. So we already saw that she had to walk back and also go into lane and just kind of spin and get some help there. A lot of damage coming out from some of these members. We also, just a side note, Samuro finished his critical questing talent level 1, so that's just another thing to note. And then also H2O is getting quite close himself. ETC is about halfway through his. Party mix is getting pretty close to being finished, and with the way that they're positioning right now, I wouldn't be too surprised to see them just focus on burning this down. And ooh, who's gonna win this race? This is okay. Yeah, that's gonna be Jailbait. With the clones of Samuro, it's just and with this talent as well. I mean, it's absolutely they burn the Immortal. I mean, you can see it right there. It's a huge talent for them. So let's go ahead, and the other thing to note here is they have 10, so they're going to get this done on to DB Smiley, but he also has the Wraith Walk out, which isn't going to be a problem, so they don't get a kill here. Kook's a little far out, so we're going to go ahead and use the Blade Storm. And at this time, so 10s are achieved on the side of Sponsored by Rory. We do have the Emerald Wind being picked up. Actually, we have Mosh Pit. Go for the throw. So Break It Down is used, but not in time. We actually have the Mosh Pit coming out right as Break It Down was about to be used. Break It Down is probably still in cooldown, but they're trying to speed boost out, and the Vala will be dying very early. The Emerald Wind will be pushing one of the members into the wall. Samuro getting out, but it looks like H2O will be falling, and that is a huge reversal on the side of Sponsored by Rory. They're going to go ahead and so... Ooh... That's pretty big for them. So they save their fort as well. I was about to be like, well, they got 2 kills, and they lose a fort. I was about to be like, that's fair trade and experience, but they save over the fort, so that's still, it's still kind of, it doesn't give them that little bit of extra bump that they, were probably looking for on the side of Jailbait to keep that experience gap still growing. And not giving that over is just, it's a little bit extra than, and also, they have that little bit of extra retreat path as well. Now, Li Ming currently going to be hearthing up in this top position, making sure that she's back and full. Probably going to be going in for the Bruiser camp with the rest of the team, I would assume, quite soon. The other thing to note here is that the Immortals will be popping up east and west in this position. They're going to go ahead and get over this bottom fort. Couple shots from these members, and it will be going down, and it looks like they'll back off at this time. Sonya in the bottom lane with quite a few members to deal with, but at this time we can talk about a few of the things, at least just talent-wise, as well as just what some of these members are doing. Let's at least just take a peek at the stats really quick overall. Ooh, actually, Smithel going to be going ahead and getting the phase shift in. There is the Emerald Wind to push them back, but it is used a little bit early, I think. Maybe if they were trying to steal the camp overall, it does separate some of the teams. Vala going to be getting bodied really, really quickly in this fight. Lucio going to be following suit, and it looks like they do end up stealing over this camp overall, and that is a huge pickup on the side of Sponsored by Rory. So 2 huge plays ever since they hit 10. And honestly, I gotta say this is starting to look like a different game from Sponsored by Rory. I don't know, like they're like, we got 10s, let's just turn it on. Like the afterburners are on or something, but definitely taking a lot of really, really strong fights in their favor here. Lucia going to be back now from death. Sonya already, though, going to be on the Immortal with that Wrath of Berserker, going to be working on burning that down. Fort goes down in the bottom lane. Still technically structure favor in favor of Jailbait, but the other thing to consider is 13s are achieved on the side of Sponsored by Rory, and this is a little bit of a risky fight to have, especially with the Mosh Pit being available. Now, I'm not sure if they know this, but it's there. The other factor, too, is that Samuro needs to go down and get this clear. This is a double camp pressuring bottom, and those towers are not the strongest, though at the same time, that is going to give them quite that little bit of experience buff that they're probably looking for, and that will push them a little bit closer to those 13s. They definitely get it. Watch to see them potentially make an engage here. I really don't think they have the burn yet on the side of... Ooh. I was going to say, I don't think they have the burn on the side of Sponsored by Rory. Emerald Wind does go out, and it looks like the Entomb does as well, so there's a couple ultimates burned right there. We need to watch out for Kooks here, who is potentially... He's getting chased by a few of the members, but they need to turn back and focus on protecting their Immortal because they could be losing this out here. It looks like they will... Ooh, actually break it down used by the Lucio a little early there. Li Ming gonna try and poke into the backline. They are diving onto one of these members. DB Smiley getting that Wraith Walk out. There is the Blade Storm by the Samuro, who does get cold dam, and that's a huge pickup because that Gray Mane is a lot of the reset value for that Li Ming. They're gonna go ahead and just rotate off. Looks like Li Ming's gonna be in top, just hearthing back, needing that more mana. This time there is the stun out onto Samuro. Alright guys, Junkrat. I'm trying not to say Junkrat because I feel like that might throw off the audience, so I can't cheer for or build Li Ming. I don't know why, but I just like that cracks me up right now. They're going to go ahead and split their Sonya into the bottom lane, who will still get that split soak for the team, making sure that they're just still, you know, staying ahead. Leoric will be going down there, so that's DB Smiley versus, I believe, something Dolphins. I'm trying to remember. Smug Dolphin. But at this time, we do have a little bit of damage going on to some of these members. Overall, though, nothing too big. A little bit of a dive from the Greymane. I think they were trying to get maybe a reset onto one of the members for Li Ming so that they, you know, pop off and just completely turn this around. But at this time, the Immortal will move out of ranged attacks because it did lose its armor, and so it's doing melee damage. So the rest of the team will be following suit, just kind of pushing in, especially with the gate being falling down here. We actually have a gate going out from the Leoric. They're trying to get onto them, but a break it down is used. There is a right away mosh. Klaxi a little bit low here. Will they be able to keep the Vala alive? DB Smiley so low. They get the jump in from actually Vala's going to be getting that kill, but they get the counter kill onto Vala right there. There is the reset. Excuse me, that is going to be Greymane falling. We do have Li Ming trying just to get so much damage out, but with no mana, she's not really able to do too much here besides a couple magic missiles. Smug Dolphin so low, trying to get out, and it looks like they are going to be chasing this a little bit, but I wouldn't be too surprised to see these members get out just fine, especially with that Lucio speed boost and healing. And I apologize for missing that. They absolutely just turned around on Leoric. I was like reading. I was like, all right, I got to just peek over and see what she's doing in bottom lane. Peek over at Twitch chat really quick, and Leoric's dead. But they're currently going to be taking another fight, and it looks like actually Aura is going to be in that bottom lane trying to soak up, get that experience that they need for 16s. But at this time, they'll be going ahead and backing off, starting to work on some of these camps, and definitely with the Immortals popping up, I believe in about a minute. I'm not too sure, but either way, they're going to be popping up in a minute or so, and that's going to be just good timing. They can stack up a few of these camps together. Looks like they're going to be doing kind of the same thing on the side of Sponsored by Rory, making sure that they go ahead and just get a little bit of lane pressure going. Don't want to be giving this over too much. Now, Sonya doing a phenomenal job of just pressuring this lane, also keeping them back. Leoric is having to play very, very safe here, and this is even kind of a very aggressive portion of the map. She also, granted, does have the Wrath of Berserker pop, so it is a little bit more, you know, it's a little bit more to deal with if you are a Leoric. So the rest of the team rotating up there. Now, do we see her get caught up by Kooks? Doesn't look like it's going to be happening. The rest of the team in bottom getting that clear. They'll go ahead and they'll clear out what they made for each other, and then they'll go and rotate on Immortals, and you know, such as Battlefield of Eternity. This time, though, we do have a few of the members of Sponsored by Rory already positioned in this defense area. I'm pretty sure that the rest of the team kind of knows this on the side of Jailbait, so they're going to be doing the same. Sponsored by Rory, though, they're making the smart call here. They're letting them make the risky play, and actually they're going to get the slide out. Ooh. He gets that slide in. I think he was like setting up for a mosh, but there was that hesitation when that circle went down. So they go ahead, and it looks like they'll back off right away, but DB Smiley not in a good position. He will be falling, and with that, the rest of the team will be kind of popping off and just kind of going in for the fight, I would assume. Wrath of Berserker is still active for Sonya. She's going to be needing to get some of the damage out right now. Look, that spear go in on to Smithel, and he is going to be gone very quickly. Once again, I think Lucio tried to use Break It Down there once again, but Power Slide from the ETC will stop that right away. I keep wanting to say Dragon Blade. There will be the Blade Storm used by the Samuro, and we also have Greymane falling there to the Vala. Are trying to put in a little bit of poke damage here, but these members look like they will be getting the first phase of this Immortal, and they're going to turn on to DB Smiley, who is potentially going to be able to get through the gate. He actually gets through the gate, excuse me. And they're postured up on this gate. Actually, the Entomb goes out, but they get the kill onto the Leoric. And they're going to go ahead and just kind of work down this gate, I guess. At this time, they really just have Vala on the Immortal, just sitting there auto-attacking. So it's even talent tiers. We're going to have both teams pretty much up and full. Couple heroics down, but overall, this is a pretty big push for the members of Jailbait here. And the realistic thing is, this is a game-winning push, I honestly do think. So on the side of sponsored by Rory, and I honestly think that they know it too, so they need to play a little bit safe. And I like the aggression on the side of Jailbait, trying to take this huge flank, but it might, you know, they almost got the Brightwing, but it was definitely an Emerald Wind that saved them there. It was huge. But meanwhile, they're just trying to walk in top and just let the Immortal do all the work in bottom. It's going to attack from range. So it's going to be able to keep its shield for quite some time. So while they're just posturing top the entire time, it's really pulling the assets of sponsored by Rory. This is a really, really smart play from Jailbait here. Really making them just decide, do you want these catapults on your core? Do you want us to flank you? Or do you want the Immortal onto your keep? So they're going to go ahead and put Greymane onto that. But they know on the side of Jailbait, so they're going to be playing very aggressive because of the fact that there is no Greymane for that little bit of dive, that follow-up, that, you know, that go for the throat into the backline. So we definitely do see some little bit of poke aggression here. It's not going to be really amounting to too much. They do get the keep, so that will be falling at this time. Now the Immortal will be walking up to the core, and so I'm trying to get all these fights. We have like a fight on Li Ming over on the side. Bladestorm's going to be used, but she is able to get out with just a little bit of health. Junkrat will be diving over to a different form. Gonna be able to dive for it and get that kill. They also are going to be moving on to Kooks, who is just getting a huge mosh into so many of these members. There is no Rain of Vengeance from the Vala, I do believe, but they still turn this around. And so with Lucio dying, I don't think that they can end. They do have a catapult postured up. Are they going to try and end here? I really can't tell. Okay, no, they're going to be backing off. What an oddly, it was just so weirdly delayed out, like how staggered and stuttered that fight was. It was such an odd back and forth. But overall, that is going to be, both keeps falling. It fell before, but, you know, we're going to have bottom keep falling during that Immortal phase. They save their core, it's at 65%. And honestly, like, this is that big time of this map, especially when you start to get to the point where it's just like, all right, kind of the next team who loses too many people in a fight, that's kind of the game. Because even then, like, sponsored by Rory, if they were to rotate up and they get the pick onto these three members who are basically by themselves without a healer, if they were to make a quick rotation like that, get those deaths, they could have rotated bottom, opened up that keep, because the death timers are getting very, very long. Especially like almost 20 minutes into the map. And the other thing too is, you know, that aggression would have potentially gotten them their 20s that they needed. Now granted, that's calling for a lot of just being like, just rotate on this camp that you don't know that they're getting. But it's one of those things that, you know, as just looking at it now, it's, you know, you can comment on a couple things here and there. At this time though, we do have the lanes being pushed back decently from the from sponsored by Rory. And bottom, I say decently because in bottom Jailbait was, you know, pushing this up. They're going to take the safe rotation around this edge right here, making sure that they're not going to get caught up, because realistically you don't want to take a fight outside of 20 at this point. Especially as I said, you know, with your core having 0 keeps, I mean, and it's already at 65%, you definitely do not want to take a fight below 20. So they're going to go ahead and just work down this Immortal. It's going to be given over. They need to just kind of push back the catapults and work for 20, because I realistically don't know if they can defend this. This is kind of a hard place to be in if you're on the side of sponsored by Rory. Luckily, they have a favorable spawn for this, so they can kind of just play this a little bit safe, kind of slow this, you know, slow the pacing down, maybe get a little bit of that side experience. But they are going to go ahead and pop, and actually there will be Brightwing going ahead and getting the phase shift in. Sam are going to go ahead and use the Bladestorm, but he actually will be falling very early in this engagement. This is exactly the fight that they need on the side of sponsored by Rory. They're not 20s just yet. We do have Smug Dolphin trying to get out. There is a bunch of damage going out from the Li Ming. There is the shielding used, or Ignore Pain, I believe, was used there. Mosh Pit going to go out, not going to be connecting onto anyone. They do get a bunch of damage out onto Kooks. He will be falling, and what an insane back and forth. They're starting to turn this around. DB Smiley is taking a little bit of damage. Sonya did actually take that 16 talent? Excuse me, 13 talent for the spear always pulling. That's insane. Coldam taking quite a bit of damage. Gonna try to dive onto the Lucio, but he is just running around the the rocks right now. able to get out, and the Immortal looks like it will be getting that kill, and so they are the only one alive trying to defend this, but unfortunately it's not going to be enough, especially without any mana. So they're going to go ahead and just work on this Immortal. And the other factor to consider here is there's already catapults on this course. Sonya looks like she's rotating up through the top here. Going to make sure that she gets this clear. Nope, just going to dive right into the core. And GGs are called out, and I think this is going to be game number 2 going over to Jailbait. Break it down is used, and that is going to be the core falling. GGs are thrown out, and that's going to be game number 2 going over to Jailbait. GG, well played.